Fast am I, good evening and welcome to the Manx Radio Folk Show with me, John Barker, playing the best in folk and roots music from the Isle of Man and from all around the world. First track tonight comes from that classic album of the 80s, Van Morrison and the Chieftains' Irish Heartbeat, Mary's Wedding.
We gaily on we go, heel for heel and toe for toe, arm in arm and row, off for Mary's wedding. Over the other ways, up and down, bird of green and black and brown, past the cheerleaders through the town, all for the sake of Mary. Step, we gaily on we go, heel for heel and toe for toe, arm in arm and row, off for Mary's wedding. Red cheeks as rowings are, brighter eyes than a star, brightest of them all by far, is our darling Mary. Step, we gaily on we go, heel for heel and toe for toe, arm in arm and row, off for Mary's wedding. Plenty herring, plenty meal, plenty pig to fill her creel, plenty bonny burns as well, that's a toast for Mary. Step, we gaily on we go, heel for heel and toe for toe, arm in arm and row, off for Mary's wedding. Step, we gaily on we go, heel for heel and toe for toe, arm in arm and row, off for Mary's wedding. Step, we gaily on we go, heel for heel and toe for toe, arm in arm and row, off for Mary's wedding.
Next up, here's the track by Edgelarks from that wonderful album Feather. They were promoting this album when they played at the Institute back in 2020, March 2020, so 6 years ago now, and that was immediately before lockdown started. They only just made it back to the UK. A lot has happened since then for all of us. Phil and Hannah now have a couple of daughters, and you're welcome back anytime, guys. Do come and see us again. Anyway, there's a lovely track called What We Saved from the Tide.
What we saved from the tide, we haul it up to the shore, we lay it out to dry, we look around for more. What we saved from the tide, we haul it up to the shore, we lay it out to dry, we look around for more. One smooth by weather, glass and stone, sea brass and stone, sea-tossed treasure, wooden bound, sink or swim, we must go in. The water is calling. What we know of our dreams, we try to hold them close, so much harder than it seems. They slip away like ghosts. What we know of our dreams, we try to hold them close, so much harder than it seems. They slip away like ghosts, fragments that we fire, dreams, wooden bones, washed up on the tide, sea and stone. The fragments that we fire, dreams, wooden bones, washed up on the tide, sea and stone. Sink or swim, we must go in. Sink or swim, we must go in. The water is calling. What we say from the tide, we hold it up to the shore, we lay it out to dry, we look around for more.
Yes, I thoroughly recommend Feather by Edgelarks. I think every track on it is absolutely fantastic. Here's something from the Kinaris Quintet, or Kinaris Q as they seem to be naming themselves just at the moment. They feature Jem Butterworth on guitar, Laura Beth Salter on mandolin, Aileen Reid and Fiona McCaskill on fiddle. This is from their album from a couple of years ago now, This Too, and it's called Wonderful. And indeed, it is. Brilliant stuff by the Kinaris Quintet. I'm going to play you a track by Nick Jones now. This is from his 1978 album, From the Devil to a Stranger. And the song's from a broadside with the title Unfortunate Sally or Billy Don't You Cry For Me, printed in 1833. And Nick Jones wrote the tune in 9/8 to fit the odd metre of the text. As always, wonderful guitar playing, wonderful singing by Nick Jones.
Sally, where are you going that you do look so gay? I know that I've not asked you to take a walk today. You have not asked me, well indeed it's a tidy cheek of you. But you think that there are no more young chaps, I've got a dozen or two. Billy, don't you weep for me, I'm going to St. James's Park, my cousin Joe to see. Cousin Joe, now who is he? He's a soldier, I can tell, for I know that you're fond of lobsters, both raw and boiled as well. My cousin Joe's a guardsman, he's a handsome chap, and he wears such fine mustachios and a stunning furry cap. Oh, Billy, don't you weep for me, I'm very fond of Cousin Joe, and I'll sit all on his knee. Going to the play tonight, Jack Shepherd for to see, and when that it is all over, we'll all have a jolly good spree. I've got money for a pint of stout, and when we're short of tin, I'll even go and pawn Miss Smock to buy us a bottle of gin. Billy, don't you weep for me, I'm very fond of Cousin Joe, and I'll sit all on his knee. Swatty, what's the use of him? He never can keep you. You'll have to work from morn till night, that's what you'll have to do. You'll have to make shirts at a penny each, or else stand at the tub. And mark me words, as many a day you'll go very short a grub. Sally, you'll cry for me, hook it back to Cousin Joe, and sit all on his knee. In about a 12-month after, young Sally come back to me, and she said that she was sorry she'd ever been on that spree. Wanted me to take her back, says I, it is no go, for do you think that I'm such a fool? Go back to Cousin Joe. Sally, you can't come over me, for I see you got a baby to dance all on your knee. Billy, how can you serve me so? You really drive me mad. I'll have you up before the beacon, I'll swear you are its dad. When that you get before the bench, they will not let you speak, and you'll have to keep the young one on 30 pence a week. So, Billy, how can you serve me so? I'm sure the child belongs to you, not to Cousin Joe. Well, in a week she gets this summons, but she found it was no go. The magistrate decided that the child belonged to Joe. She went up to Billy's backyard, quickly the door she shut, and when at last they found her, she drowned in the water butt. So young women, take a warning from me, never love a soldier or sit all on his knee.
It's still very hard to find anything much better than Nick Jones's interpretations of traditional songs. Absolutely superb. However, here's a new CD. It appeared in my pigeonhole up here at Manx Radio Towers this week, and it's by Paul Connolly, a Scottish concertina player, and it's full of great tunes, and I'm going to play you the first track from this. The album is called A Moment in Time. It's got a lovely picture of Buckiletiv Moor on the front, the great shepherd of Etiv, which is that fine conical mountain that stands at the head of Glencoe. Been up there a couple of times. Wonderful hill. Anyway, this track is Wendell's Wedding, Come Under My Plaidie, Johnny McGill, and the Campbells Are Coming. Music happening around the Isle of Man this week. Well, of course, there'll be the usual sessions. O'Donnell's on Wednesday night in Douglas, the Mitre in Ramsey on Friday night. I think the Sunday afternoon session is probably at Black Dog Oven over in Peel, and I'm sure there's lots of other great music happening too, so do go out and support it. Tickets are still available for Brooks Williams in Ayr and Catlow at the Institute on the 21st of this month. I'm going to play you a track by them in a moment called London Road from their new album, Working in Wood. So we're really looking forward to hearing these new songs live. Tickets are still available if you go searching for those on the internet. But just before that, I'm going to play a track by Jack Mclean. He's always busy with music, doing videos at home, playing keyboards with Clash 4, and he played solo in the Ather Room concert on Friday night last week. So here's a track by him. This is Be the Man. This is a song by Sean Cooney of the Young'uns, and he wrote this when he was deeply moved by a Guardian article about Nazim Mahmood, who'd committed suicide because his family couldn't accept that he was gay. How do you begin to write a song about that? He asked himself, but he did, and he sent Be the Man to Mahmood's grieving partner, Matthew Ogston. And as I say, this is Jack Mclean's version of that song, followed by Brooks Williams and Ayr and Catlow, London Road.
Matthew Ogston is my name, and you'll not hear me mourn. I will never live in shame, I will not walk alone. For though my love took his own life because of bigotry, I'll be the man, be the man, be the man I was born to be. I was born to be. And my love he was warm and kind, and my love he was strong. And when his brown eyes first met mine, I knew he was the one. And though I walk a silent road, he will walk with me, and I'll be the man, be the man, be the man I was born to be. I was born to be. There is a cross upon the hill, its arms are open wide. There's a star upon a windowsill that beckons me inside. But I'll walk beneath the crescent moon, and I'll walk until they see that I'll be the man, be the man, be the man I was born to be. I was born to be. For the man that I was born to be is a man who lives for love, kindness and charity, but most of all, love. And there's no God that I've heard of who would disagree. And I'll be the man, be the man, be the man I was born to be. I was born to be. Wherever love is called a sin and families are torn, wherever mums can't love their sons because of how they're born, wherever there are hands to hold, that is where I'll be. And I'll be the man, be the man, be the man I was to be. I was born to be. And I'll be the man, be the man, be the man I was born to be. I was born to be.
When the hour is late and you're walking home, boot heels on cobblestones, you mind how you go down on the London road. When the hour is late and you're at King's Cross, empty lights on midnight frost, another night of 3 below, down on the London road. Down on the London road, down on the London road, down on the London road, you mind how you go, down on the London road. Time. You can't spin gold from neon signs. Some things can't be bought or sold, down on the London road. Down on the London road, down on the London road, down on the London road, you mind how you go, down on the London road. When the hour is late in Shadow Town and everything is closing down, where do the angels go? Down on the London road. Down on the London road, down on the London road, down on the London road, you mind how you go, down on the London road.
So that's Brooks Williams in Aaron Catlow, who are playing at the Institute on the 21st. Saturday the 21st. I'll play another track from the album next week. You can still get tickets. Here's something by Filkin's Drift. from their album of last year called Glan. They're a duo from Wales, and this track is called Tudnose. There's a new single by Chris Drever, which is always a very welcome thing. This is called Change. In fact, this song was on the album Live at Kelvin Grove, Celtic Connections 2025, that Chris had for sale when he played at the Institute early last year, along with Chris Stout. But this is his newly recorded single version, and it's fantastic as you would expect.
Winter has an end, there's no exception. Every memory's an act of transformation. All the rocks will one day melt beneath the sun. Even Tory politicians will one day come unspun. is never gonna change. Nothing else will ever stay the same. Butterflies and mountain hares and Arctic foxes, the forecast steady given North Isles Day, the way we pass around the holy water and take comfort from the way that nothing stays. Your granddad hunted whales down in South Georgia. Now we're wearing matching raincoats and we hunt with cameras. Change is never gonna change. Nothing else will ever stay the same. Change is never gonna change. Nothing else will ever stay the same. I can point at the forest, I can say that it's mine. I can hire a cartographer to draw the boundary lines. And after I'm gone, there may still be trees. None of those old souls will pause to honor me. Change is never gonna change. Nothing else will ever stay the same. Change is never gonna change. Nothing else will ever stay the same. Change is never gonna change. Nothing else will ever stay the same. Nothing else will ever stay the same.
A couple of weeks ago, I played you a track by the band Rock, who are a four-piece band hailing from both sides of the Atlantic. Their debut album is Irish at its core, but is also a celebration of the band's diversity, featuring Mexican folk songs, American old-time tunes woven with driving reels, and the stunning voice of Nicole Fig, leading songs in both English and Spanish. She was originally from Mexico, then lived in Texas and moved to Ireland, where she developed a passion for the Irish music. But this track reflects her Mexican background. It's called El Aran Cazacate, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy it.
Cuatro naranjas corté y las puse a madurar. Cuatro naranjas corté y las puse a madurar. Si usted no las amancuerna, yo sí las sé amancornar. Si usted no las amancuerna, yo sí las sé amancornar. Deja que se vaya, que ella volverá. Deja que se vaya, que ella volverá. Si amores la llevan, celos la traerán. Si amores la llevan, celos la traerán.
that's fantastic, isn't it? What a great mixture of Irish and Mexican music. I've only got access to the 2 tracks I've played you so far. I'm looking forward to hearing the whole album by Fear Rock. Here's a wonderful track by Chris Wood from that great album Handmade Life. This is Spitfires.
Sometimes in our Kentish summer we still see Spitfires in the sky. It's the sound. We run outside to catch a glimpse as they go growling by. It's the sound. There goes another England, sacrifice and daring do, and a victory roll or two. From the drawing board to the hand of the factory girl upon the lathe, it's the sound. It's ordinary men and women with an ordinary part to play. 'Cause theirs was a gritty England, workers' playtime got them through, and an oily rag or two. But sometimes I hear the story told in a voice that's not my own. It's the sound. It's a land of hope and glory, voice an Anglo klaxon overblown. It's the sound. Because theirs is another England, hides behind the red, the white and the blue. Rule Britannia, no thank you. Because when I hear them Merlin engines in the white days of July, it's the sound. They sing the song of how they hung a little fascist out to dry.
What an incredible song that is. We could certainly do with a few less of those Anglo-Klaxon voices at the moment, as Chris Wood brilliantly describes them in that song. If you've got any music that you'd like me to play on this show, just email me, folkshow@manxradio.com. And don't forget you can listen back to all the previous shows, either by going to the Manx Radio website, finding the music podcast section, or by subscribing to this podcast on Apple Podcasts. It also appears on YouTube every week, without any video, you'll be pleased to know. So I'll be back next week to play more great folk and roots music from the Isle of Man and from all around the world. And I do hope you'll join me then, and I'll leave you with a track by Stockton's Wing. This is 3 reels, The Master's Daughter, Blessings Reel, and Dennis O'Brien's. See you next week.